It's bittersweet. I'm one of the last cards that they have, so for me, it would be an honor to go out with a bang.
Yeah, I feel it's bittersweet too because you always thought of HBO as the number one.
Yeah, I mean that's been the notion since I've known boxing, HBO boxing. Uh, but for me, it's just remaining focused on the task, even though it's a bittersweet moment for the boxing fans, including myself. I have a task to accomplish, and I'm super determined for that.
Did you recently watch the GGG fight? What were your thoughts on that with Canelo?
It was a close fight. When I went back and analyzed it, I thought that this fight, more so than the last fight, could have been a draw if they wanted to score it anything. I mean, the first fight, I thought Triple G won it. But, I want the best in the world. So any one of those guys want to step up to the plate, God willing, I get this victory. That's what I'm here for.
I saw Chris Algieri. Was he was he helping with the cooking or anything?
Oh, of course. This is his fourth time in my camp now. Good friend of mine, brother of mine, and he does everything he does to help in every way that he can, and making sure that I'm in the best shape possible, nutrition-wise. Every car needs a good oil, good gas to keep it going. So he provides that for me.
Had a great camp then.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Danny, did you think any of those Canelo performances were better than your performance against Triple G?
No. I mean, even though he's still forward, which people give him a lot of credit for, including myself, I mean, the fact that he stood and went toe-to-toe was impressive, but you still got to be effective, 100%. And I don't know, man. It's really kind of hard to tell, but I did think I put up a good performance.
I feel like the cat's out the bag, at least in terms of like Eddie Hearn in the press. I think that, he's pretty much hinted that you're moving towards the zone after this last HBO fight. Is that it? And it seems like that's where the middleweight crop is at.
Well, right now my main focus is just Dervinchenko this Saturday because, if I lose this fight, then none of that stuff is promised. So, first things first, let me take care of my opponent, do the best that I can do to provide these fans a good fight, and look forward to the future right after that.
Knowing Dervinchenko very well, like the palm of your hand, you guys have sparred like numerous times. I heard 300 and something, sparring sessions. Did you make any adjustments just for this fight?
Of course we did. We make adjustments every time we in training camp because we watch our opponents sparring. Well, we watch our opponents film to study bad habits, but it's easier for me because I already know the bad habits from being inside there and have the experience. So it's just mostly enhancing those things to make sure I can be in the best possible shape and use my advantages and exploit his disadvantages.
If you're victorious this Saturday night, there's rumors that there's a high chance that you might get the opportunity to fight Canelo in May. Is that something?
First things first, like I said, my focus is solely on this fight right now. I have a tough opponent in front of me, so I have to make sure that I look good, get the victory, get this IBF title, and then worry about the future. But right now, I can't look past the return.
Do you plan on redeeming yourself? If you're victorious this Saturday night, do you plan on giving Triple G a rematch to redeem yourself and get a victory?
Well, if that was to be the case, I was pretty sure that I would be a target. It wouldn't be me calling out these guys. It would be the other way around. So, like I said, first things first, let me take care of Dervinchenko, then only the future will tell.
What was your initial reaction when you heard about the news that Canelo Alvarez got this huge deal with DAZN, $300 million?
That's awesome. Boxing is back in full effect. DAZN is just on a great platform for fighters to, when we go in there and put our lives on the line to make the most of it. It's a good time for boxing.
Would you agree with Eddie Hearn that Charlie has to sign with DAZN in order to get a chance to fight you?
I don't really know too much about other fighters right now. I'm just worried about myself, worried about Saturday night and taking care of business.
Is it hard to hurt someone who you have a personal relationship with?
No, it's not hard at all. I mean, I've had a personal relationship with Peter Quillen.
True.
And we see what happens. So it's no disrespect to anybody. It's more so it's just taking care of business when I'm inside that ring. There's no friends inside that ring. There's no relationships because if you really look at it from the outside, this guy's trying to take away my future. They're trying to take food off my table and a better life for my family. So, that's an enemy to me once we inside those square ring.
Was there ever a point in time pre the fight being announced that you maybe meditated on that before? Was it always a thought on your mind, this guy's in my weight class, I'm gonna have to face him at some point?
Oh, absolutely. I've always kept that in the back of my mind. When you have a guy that's good, you know, you always have to keep him in the back of his mind that you're going to be, or that he's going to be a potential opponent. So, yeah, and I knew this day would come, and that's exactly why, you know, each sparring session I made sure I give my best. That's why I made sure, you know, I've always, you know, kept an eye on this guy. But at the end of the day, I feel like I have the better advantages, so I'm looking to exploit those things.
Yeah, hi, this is Jimmy from This Week Science. Talking about Peter Quillen earlier, if you discount the Sergio Mora fight, this is your 5th fight in a row where you faced an undefeated fighter. So my question to you is, what drives you to try to take on the very best every single time you fight?
That's a good question. Well, when I first came back from cancer, people were criticizing me that I had not so good opposition. And I've always said that I was the best. But from learning how to walk again and getting my nerves back when I stepped foot in the ring, I wanted to make sure I got back acclimated to the feel of boxing, to stiff competition. And so we made sure that we climb up the ladder accordingly. We didn't have tough opposition early on, I admit that, but at the same time, I wanted to prove to the fans that I'm the best in the division. And what better way than fighting tough, undefeated fighters? Like you mentioned, this would probably be my 5th undefeated fighter that I'm fighting in a row without Mora. But you know, it's just a test of my legacy, and I'm going to continue to do so and prove to the world no matter who's in front of me.
Let me ask you this. For many years, great analysts thought that Andre Ward had no power. Mm-hmm. But the true boxing guys knew that he had power. Many people don't think that you have the power, but you proved them wrong by knocking out Quillen and actually hurting a lot of guys. Talk a little bit about your power.
Well, speed is power, which you don't see and you get hit with. You know, it's hard shots. So for me, I got to get more in the habit of setting up my shots with speed. The last couple of fights, I've been trying to load up. I think I got too much into this power punching, you know, feeling that the fans have kind of put on me. Even though I have a 80-something% knockout ratio or something like that, my skills always set that up, and I kind of abandoned that. So I'm gonna go back to put my skills at the forefront in making the skills and the speed and setting up shots, being able to get the knockouts. But you know, speed kills. Speed is power.
Absolutely. Last question for you, Danny. You know this opponent very well.
Yep.
You seem more focused than ever. You don't want to think or talk about anything except this Saturday night, which makes perfect sense. Your last 2 fights have gone the distance. How important is it to get off to a big start, maybe the first 2-3 rounds, to put those rounds in the bank, just in case it does go the distance and you have to go to the judges?
It's important to win every round, but it's also important to win the early first 3 rounds just to set the tempo. But for me, every round is important. And I feel like going the distance as many times as I have, 12 rounds, gives me more of the experience in being durable and having that edge in the 12-round fight. Whereas Sergey would have been 12 rounds maybe once, and he's, you know, he only had a total of 12 fights as a professional. So when it comes to experience, I feel like I have the edge, and I think going inside that ring, that mental edge will push me through.
Danny, thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, Danny, still shot and still. How much better do you think you guys made each other entering this fight? With your sparring session, you and Sergey.
Say that one more time.
You know, with still, sharp and still, how much better do you think you guys made each other with your sparring session, you and Sergey?
Before this fight?
Yeah.
Okay. Anytime you spar somebody that's good, that's got great talent, you learn from them. So I'm not sure how much I've learned, but I definitely think he's able to keep me sharp in the times that I have him as a sparring partner, especially for the Golovkin fight. Very similar European styles. He was able to keep me sharp, and a lot of other guys that I have that was from that side of the world that kept me sharp with that style of boxing. But anytime you're in there with somebody good, iron's always going to sharpen iron.
You know, the other night, Demetrius Andrade had a good performance. Your thoughts on him possibly taking a Canelo match, even if they're successful on Saturday night?
Best of power to him. That's a brother of mine. I knew Boo Boo since I was 15 years old, so if he gets that opportunity, it'll be a great opportunity for him. Right now, my focus is just on Sergey Derevyanchenko and making sure that I'm prepped for that and giving the fans a good show.
You know, last thing on...
Appreciate your time, Danny.
Thank you.
Just yesterday, it's a complete side note, but